Big result. I am over the moon with that. Chelsea have beaten Fulham. We are on a roll. By the modern day standards of Chelsea Football Club are currently on a roll. We launched Brighton out of the League Cup last week, and tonight we have beaten Fulham. Fulham are our nearest rivals. Now, look, when Chelsea play Fulham, there is always jeopardy in the result. It is a massive game for Fulham. Fulham fans take this game really seriously. This matters to them. To Chelsea, it's a huge 3 points. To Fulham, it's so much more. They really want this, and that is why in the past they have caused us problems. Fulham are a slight thorn in our side. It's always a tricky place to go for us, Craven Cottage, so we have to be careful. Look, of course, we can all remember David Luiz scoring from practically the halfway line, or Arjen Robben twisting them up as we scored 4. But we can also remember really good teams struggling there. We can all remember William Gallas getting sent off and Chelsea ultimately losing that game. We can all remember William scoring very recently and giving us a problem. We can all remember Frank Lampard struggling away from home there. So we know that when Chelsea play Fulham, it is a tricky fixture, one that we should be aware of. And therefore, when we go and win in the way that we did, in the nature and the manner of that victory, I think that we should be full of praise. So we've beaten Brighton, we've beaten Fulham, Burnley next. Who knows? We could make it a hat-trick of wins. We could make it back-to-back-to-back victories, which would be a dream, because we must remember that this recovery of this Chelsea team is at a very early stage, but the sign of a rampant Mykhailo Mudryk does fill me with joy. Mykhailo Mudryk, can you believe it, has finally scored a goal in his 21st Premier League appearance. He signed for Chelsea in January. He has finally scored a goal, and it was a very good goal as well. He took it very well. Takes it on the chest, a delicious pass to him, exquisitely delivered from Levi Colwill, chipped over the defender by a Rizla paper, right into the path of Mykhailo Mudryk. His first touch out his feet into his path, and then he strokes it home through the keeper, Leno. Great goal, great finish, great way to announce yourself to the Chelsea faithful. And do you know what really did resonate with me? I love to see this, and it just made it all the more special. All you could hear was Chelsea fans tonight. You could tell that the Chelsea fans are still so desperately up for this fight. The away end was absolutely jumping. And anybody that questioned whether this away support or whether Chelsea support in general is perhaps shying away from Pochettino. There was some talk online, wasn't there? I did a video on it on this very channel recently, that some people, some big Twitter accounts were getting the hump with Mauricio Pochettino. That away end tonight, you could see, it was full of passionate, partisan, aggressive, unilateral love for Pochettino, for Chelsea. And it is a really, really big win. Obviously, Armando Broja among the goals as well. I don't know what this is going to mean for Nicholas Jackson, by the way. But Armando Broja scoring, his physicality is huge. And the fact that a Broja has scored on his first start since that serious knee injury, it really does strengthen my belief in what Pochettino is trying to build. Don't get me wrong. I think what's going on above Pochettino is actually nothing short of a disgrace. And I think that Clear Lake and Bowley, I think that they are desperately ruining the club, and it's troubling. And sadly, I think we have some dark days ahead. But the job that Pochettino is doing and these players are doing, I'm fully behind it. And Sanchez, a clean sheet. Broja, back of the net. Mudryk, back of the net. 2 victories in a row. 2 games in a row without conceding a goal. So I'm very pleased. And I would also say that it's a long time since we have looked that assured in a game. Look, don't get me wrong, Fulham had their moments. It's always going to be tight. As I said at the beginning of this video, they care about this fixture. This fixture really does matter. If you are one of the very few Fulham fans that exist in the world, this matters to them. To Chelsea, it's another 3 points, and a big 3 points. And I was slightly worried ahead of the game. You know, when you're looking at Fulham and you're thinking about what they are capable of, and Paulinho in the middle, and I thought maybe is Raul Jimenez going to suddenly find his feet? Is Willian going to give us a headache like he did before? We basically nullified their threat, didn't we? And straight away, the sight of Moises Caicedo setting the tone in defensive midfield. Those 2 early, heartfelt, we'll call them, tackles on Andreas Pereira. It was a joy to behold. It really was. And it was lovely to see Chelsea play in the way that we did. It was necessary because we must remember that we were the third club in West London last year. I think only Palace finished below us in a Premier League table of the capital. So we really did owe Fulham, and we still do owe Brentford. And I wonder if we were slightly powered by a determination to silence the taunts that occurred last year. But we found our motivation, and we were good. You know, we displayed a lot of the best traits that you will get from a Mauricio Pochettino team. We were pressing high, we were breaking at speed. We had an awful lot of variety in the passes that we were making. And basically, Fulham, they looked predictable. They looked easy to play against. They looked one-dimensional. And that is the only thing that I need to flag here. Look, I'm delighted with what I saw tonight. I'm delighted for so many reasons with what Chelsea have done over the past 180 minutes. But it's a Brighton team that just conceded 6 goals at Aston Villa. And it's a Fulham team that are, to be frank, woeful. So I think we need to put it in context. I think it's quite clear that there is still work to do. And I don't think that we can get too carried away with the fact that we've gone away to Fulham and won. But we must enjoy the fact that we found our groove. We scored 2 goals in 80 seconds. And effectively, we blew Fulham away in that moment. In that moment, when we scored those goals, we managed to just simply blow them away. And it was a really, really good, complete result. And we also showed an element of determination. You know, it was thrilling at times, but I was worried that we were going to lack a killer touch. Obviously, Mudryk wasted a couple of chances early, didn't he? Enzo Fernandez had that chance. Broja had a half chance. And I was slightly worried. But we found a way. We were resilient. We stuck to our guns. And yet again, we found a way. Robert Sanchez has another clean sheet. And Chelsea are marching up the table. Or at least marching away from the relegation zone. Over the moon, I really am. And if we can beat Burnley, look, we've got a terrible run of fixtures coming up. But if we can just make sure that we beat Burnley, we go into those fixtures not desperate for the points and not massively up against it. There's a lot of positives to take. I'm pleased. And even, Mark Cucurella looked half decent, didn't he? At right back. So yeah. Disasi looked good. Thiago Silva. What about that foul on Thiago Silva, by the way? It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, there is an awful lot to be proud about. And if Matsson's shot that hit the post had gone in, 3-0 would have just been sensational. Thankfully, Carlos Vinicius and Lukic, wasn't it? Slightly profligate, but overall, I'm over the moon. Get in. Thank you very much for watching. Chelsea, march on. Walk on. Gently. But steps in the right direction nonetheless. Have a wonderful night.